Hello, everybody. Today we read from Hos.8 and Proverbs 3. So I start off with Proverbs 3 because I liked, I think that's verse 9 in there. Yeah, verse 9. Honor the Lord with your wealth and with your first and best part of all, and with the first and best part of all your income. And I like that scripture because it is like a reminder to not get greedy with your money, because money is, it's just a piece of paper that seems to control everything in our lives. And I was hearing about Jeffrey Epstein and how it seemed like all of it revolved around money and how there was a concentration of money in this area. And I feel like if money didn't hold as much power as it did in our society, we wouldn't suffer from a lot of problems. We wouldn't suffer from people killing each other over it, or drug or like prostitution rings. That's what I heard about. But it just seems like money is just like, it's kind of like the catalyst of it, and it kind of controls all of these problems. So if people were reminded that money is not that important, and showing love to one another is important, I feel like world would be just a tad bit better.
Amen. And they were saying, talking about the love of money and greed, right? It's not money itself, because money is just a tool to exchange, right? It's what you can do with the money. And they were saying with Epstein, he only had one client that was the founder of Victoria's Secret, and that was supposedly from a hedge fund that he built this organization, but he had some other dealings. But what he made his money on really was blackmail and bribery. He would have these girls do these acts with these celebrities and politicians, and he would tell them to get some dirt on them so that he could blackmail, and they would have to send him millions and millions and billions of dollars to keep their mouth shut. And he would have cameras in all of his quarters, New Mexico, and that little island he owned, and New York, right? It's because of greed, and you get caught up because you think that money will make you happy, but no, it won't. So I agree. Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand, riches and honor. That's true riches. That's in verse 16. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. And what we're talking about is, happy is the man or woman that getteth wisdom. What about Hos.8?
I like verse 7. Read that for me.
Hos.8 verse 7. Do you remember anything about it?
It has to do like what you reap, what you sow.
For they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stalk, the bud shall yield no meat. It so be it yield. Yes.
I like that one because you reap what you sow. What you give, you get back. Whether it be like the food you eat, or your attitude towards people. Yeah. If you're having a bad attitude towards other people, you can't wonder like, oh, why doesn't know anybody like me or anything? Because that's just what you give off. So if you want a change, then you'll give a change into the world, and your spirit will change. If you want change, yeah.
That's good. And this version says, the people of Israel plant the wind, but they harvest a storm. And again, that's just for us to be careful about what we put out there. And what spoke to me is how God was saying that Israel forgot their maker in verse 14. And of course I remembered Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember thy creator in the days of thy youth. Don't forget him. And in Isaiah 54:5, your maker, your creator, is your spouse. So make sure that you are partnered with God at all times, and you will enjoy the love that he promises for all of us. Even if you don't have any money, he is the source of pleasure. Have a wonderful evening and Independence Day.